All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. My name is Dana. I'm one of our aviculturists or bird keepers here at the aquarium. Right now, we're with our 23 Magellanic penguins. If you were here just a few moments ago, we were feeding our penguins, but it looks like they've had most of their food for the morning. Now, you may notice a lot of them are hanging out in the water right now. It is migration season for our penguins, so you'll notice that they're spending most of their time in the water when they're not being frightened by the seagulls up above us. So penguins are naturally prey species, even though they don't know it. They are terrified of the seagulls. Just because they can come down here, a lot of times they try to steal food if we're feeding our penguins, and that can make our penguins a little uncomfortable, a little nervous, and they feel much more safe in the water. So you'll notice throughout most of the day, they're going to be hanging out in the water. Right now, it looks like a lot of our penguins are preening themselves. So you may notice they're bending their heads over towards their backs, and it looks like they're almost chewing on their feathers. This is totally normal, and this is called preening. And what that means is they're just cleaning their feathers, making sure everything's nice, neat, and orderly. And the reason why they clean their feathers so much, because they will do this for a lot of the day. They'll sleep, they'll eat, and they'll preen their feathers. But preening their feathers is very, very important because it's what keeps them warm in the colder waters. Now up here on deck, it's about as warm as it is out there with you all. It's fairly sunny here in Southern California. Now this is a species of penguin that lives in temperate waters, so they don't need ice or snow in order to be comfortable or happy. But their water is a little bit chillier. They are native to the coastline of Argentina and Chile, and just like the water here is a little bit colder, so they need those nice, dense, thick feathers in order to keep warm in that water. Now, you may notice that a lot of them touch their beaks towards the back of their body, and then will kind of spread their beaks on their feathers. What they're doing is they're waterproofing their feathers. They have a uropygial gland, or an oil gland at the base of their tail, and what they'll do is they'll rub their beak in that oil, and they'll spread that on their feathers, essentially making them waterproof. And so that's what's going to keep them very buoyant in the water, very warm. And if you notice our penguins diving underwater, you may see some bubbles streaming up from their feathers. And those bubbles are just going to be kind of keeping them warm and insulating them a little bit. Now, as I said, our penguins are in migration season, so out in their natural habitat, they'd be leaving the coastline and venturing out many, many miles in search of food. Now, here at the aquarium, we check their food every morning. We weigh it out. We make sure it's all restaurant quality seafood. Here they get herring and capelin. That's pretty similar to what they'd be eating out in their natural habitat. Any kind of small schooling fish like sardines or like our herring and capelin. Now, our fish that we get is frozen. We defrost it and we feed it to them. But occasionally for enrichment or for just something fun, a little bit different, a little bit more entertaining, we will occasionally give them live fish, which is very fun to watch. It kind of takes them a moment to figure out, I'm about as in the know as you guys are. Something kind of startled them, and they all swam down where they felt a little bit safer. Just a couple of minutes or a few seconds, they'll all kind of come back up to the surface again. But like I said earlier, during migration season, they tend to be a little bit more aware of what's going on around them, a little bit easily startled. So sometimes something will catch their eye, something will be shiny or flashy, they'll see a seagull or even a pigeon overhead, and they'll all dive underwater, swim around until they feel a little bit safer, and then they'll kind of come back up to the surface again. And now you may notice that they're all sort of swimming together. They're very social animals. They live in a colony. Now technically our group here is one colony. We have 23 penguins. Most of them are adults. We have 3 chicks in here right now. Now when I say a chick, I mean they're pretty much under 1 year old. We had 3 hatch here earlier this year, and you can tell our chicks apart. You can even hear our penguins right now too. So that's a social call. They're all just kind of communicating, hey, I'm over here, I'm over here. And that's kind of how they get their nickname. It sounds like a very kind of donkey braying noise. There's 3 species of penguins, all called banded penguins, and they all make a very similar noise just like that. But as I was saying, you can tell our chicks apart because they look a little bit different from our adults. We have one chick down here at the beach where I'm pointing, heading into the water right now, and they don't have that distinguishing 2 dark black bands across their chest. Instead, they look just kind of gray. They're pretty much the same size as adults, so you can't really tell them apart based on size, but you can definitely tell them apart based on color. Now, earlier in the year, our penguins went through what we call a catastrophic molt, where they lose all of their feathers at once. They're not like a lot of other species of birds where they'll lose their feathers throughout the year. This is about a month-long process where they kind of bloat, they swell up, push all the feathers out of their body, and grow in nice, new, clean, fresh feathers. So right now they all look very, very nice. And that was just a seagull flying overhead that kind of spooked them all into the water right now. We just have Gats up here on the beach with me. But yeah, that seagull just kind of scared them. Like I said, they're going to be swimming underwater for a little bit, and once they feel kind of safe, one penguin will come up, another couple will come up, and then they'll all be back up at the surface again, kind of resuming their natural or normal behavior. Now I'm going to be out here with our penguins for just a few more minutes, but thank you all so much for joining me. We are a nonprofit organization, so just by coming here, the price of your ticket, that money actually goes back to helping out our animals. Now our penguins may look small, but they have quite a large appetite. They can eat about 20% of their body weight every day. So it does take a lot to feed these animals, so thank you all so much for coming here, for donating your time and your interest in learning about these animals. On behalf of myself and our penguins, like I said, I want to thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day here at the aquarium.